Okay, now let us discuss the next exercise. What is the output produced by following code? Okay, now look at the program. Let us execute the program line by line. Obj is equal to open new.txt comma w. That is, you are opening a file in a write mode. So you are going to write something. Okay, so obj dot write a poem by Paramahamsa Yogananda, and then you are writing next line obj dot write I love thee, oh my India. Okay, fine. So obj dot close. So you have written 3 lines of information in new.txt, and then obj1 is equal to open of new.txt. That is same file you are opening in a read mode. So now your file pointer will be at the beginning of the file. Now it is s1 is equal to obj1 dot read of 48. So 48 means 48 characters will be read from the file. Okay, so you can count. So when you count, please note down, you have to count the spaces as well, and then at the end of the line there will be /n. Okay, you have to count that, and then you have to count 48 characters. Okay, so and then you are printing that information. It's supposed to be capital S1. Okay, and then obj1 dot close. So the output of the this particular program is a poem by Paramahamsa Yogananda, Better Than Heaven. Okay, so 48 characters. Okay, so now look at the next exercise. A given text.dat data.txt contains. So this is the content of the data.txt file. Okay, line 1, and it's end with /n, and it is second line, third line is line 3, line 4, line 5, and line 6. There are 6 lines of information in data.txt. What would be the output of following code? Okay, so now let us execute fh. You are creating a file object, open data.txt comma read mode. LST is equal to fh dot read lines. So this is what you need to understand. So the read lines function, it will read all the lines from the file, and it will create every line as a elements of the list. That is what the understanding that is being expected from you. Okay, so line 1 /n, that will be the first element. /n alone, that will become the second element. The third element of a list is line 3, and the fourth element of a list is line 4, line 5, and then line 6. That is, there are 6 elements. So starting from the index 0 to 5. Okay, that is what the understanding required. So after that, you are printing one by one. Print lst of 0. So the first element you are accessing, what is the first element? It is line 1, and then you are ending with no space. That is okay. Anyway, print statement by default, it will give you the new line, so you want to avoid that. So there will be line 1, and then print of lst of 2. So it is 0 1 2. So line 3 will be printed. Lst of 5, the last line, line 6 will be printed. Okay, this is how you have to execute. So now the output of this particular program is this. Okay, so line 1, line 3, that is, you have to just what understanding required is read lines function. It will read line by line, and it will generate a list. Okay, so every element of a list is every single line in the file. That is what required. Okay, so this is the output of the file, right? Now look at the next exercise. Again, we are going back to writing the programs or functions. Okay, so write a program to count to and the present in the text file. Okay, so from this particular chapter, this is what expected from you. That is, you should be able to write a function or program using file handling, right? Okay, so here you have to count to the words to and the present in the text file. Okay, so you are going to read from the text file, so you have to get it as a parameter. Okay, so def count of file you are reading. So count to, so I have created 2 counters, count to and then count the. So I have initialized with the values 0, and then I have used a for loop method to open the file. For line in open of file comma in read mode I am opening. So the next one is very important. Okay, so here line, what will be there in line? So in line you will be having the first line of the text file. Okay, so when you take a line of information, it will be having number of words. So now you have to split the line into number of words. So how will you identify a word? A word will be identified by a space. So I am using a split function to split the line into number of words, and I am generating a list. So list is equal to line dot split. So the first line it will be read from the file, and you are splitting the line into number of words, and those words you are generating a list. That is what the output of a split function, that you are storing it in a list. Now lst, it will be having the list of words present in the first line. So next what I have to do, I have to check whether the word to or the present in the file. If it is present, I have to increment the counter. Okay, so to do so, I am identifying the number of elements that are present in the list. So length is equal to len of list. That will give you the number of elements that are present in the list, that is after breaking the line into words. So now you are using a for loop for I in range of length, whatever may be the number of words that are present. So till that you have to count. So if lst of I dot upper, why I have used this function? Because lst of I means that is I in range of length. If there are 5 words, what is the value that will be generated? It will be 0 to 4. So I initially it will take the value 0. You are taking the first word from the line. Okay, so lst of 0 dot upper. So I am using this upper function to convert, because in my file I'll be having different 2, that is I can have a 2 with all small letter, T capital and then O small letter, whatever. I want to count all irrespective of the case. So to make sure that to count all the 2's without fail, so I'm just converting it into upper, and then I'm checking the equality with TO2 capital, so that you won't be missing anything. Okay, so if it is 2, I'm incrementing the counter by 1. 2 counter I'm incrementing. So if it is T, I'm incrementing the counter. Okay, it will be repeated. Okay, for a line it will be repeated. This for loop, it is to count, it is to find out the words present in one single line, and this for loop, it is to fetch all the lines in the file, right? Okay, so in line with this outer for loop, you have to print the number of 2 present in the file is, which is present in count 2, and then number of the present in the text file is count the. Okay, so and then this is a top level statement, that is your main program. So I am calling test4.txt. so when you execute this program, okay, all these program whatever I have given in my PPT, all are executable program. You just copy paste, and then you have to create whatever the text file that I have mentioned in the relevant folder, and then you can execute, and then you can check your answers. Okay, so the output of this particular program will be number of 2 present in a file list. So that is what I had. Okay, it will count and it will give you. So next, look at the program. Write a program that appends the contents of one file to another. Write a program that appends the contents. So what do you mean by append? Append, it will add the content at the end of the file. Okay, so from one file you are going to copy the information, and you are going to add it to another file. Have the program read the file names from the user. Okay, you have to be very careful while writing the answers to the question. Okay, so have the program, so you are not just writing the function, you are going to write the program. So in that program, the file names should be read from the user, right? Okay, so as I already told you, you have to write the you can write it as a function, and then you can write a top level statement, so that it will become a program, complete program. Okay, so here I start my function definition, def append file of target comma source. Okay, so in the target file I am going to add the content, append the content, and then from the source file I am going to copy the information. So fn is equal to open of source comma r, that is from that file I am going to read the information. f out is equal to open of target comma a. So this is what very important. Okay, you have to give the file mode as a stands for append. So if you give w, the contents that are already present in target, that will be deleted. Okay, so to avoid that, so you have to add this content. Okay, so and then for line in fin. Okay, so this is a general method to read all the lines that are present in the file. Okay, for line in fin, from this file you are reading and then you are simply writing it into the target file. Okay, so f out dot write of line. So you're just reading the line from source and you're writing it. Okay, f in dot close, f out dot close. So now this function, it is to append the content. Now you have to write a program and you have to read the file names as well. So for that, these three are the top level statement. f1 is equal to input of enter the source file name, f2 is equal to enter the destination file name, append file, this is a function call statement. So to the f2 file you are going to append, so f2 comma f1. So when you execute, enter the source file test.txt, enter the destination file name test1.txt. So when you give that, so to test1.txt, the content of test will be returned, right? Okay, so here these statements I have written just to open and view the file name. Okay, the content of test1, it is appended with the content of test, right? So that's all for today's session, dear. So with this we have completed chapter 5, file handling. So we have discussed a very important topic, and at the end of the session, as we have discussed in the session, you should be able to write your own program using file handling. Various exercises we have already discussed in a form of weekly exercise and then test. I'll send you all the book back exercises. Please go through and then try to solve by yourself. If you're not able to solve any question, get back to me. Okay, thank you, children.